Thank you, Marcy. That was a longer introduction than I thought I was going to get, because I'm not the featured speaker today. Our featured speaker is Nora, who is a choral conductor, a choir educator, a children's opera composer, and music director of children's operas, and an enthusiast about audience outreach. Anna graduated from the Sibelius Academy in Helsinki, and she also teaches now at Sibelius Academy of the University of Arts in Helsinki, and also at the Helsinki Conservatory of Music. She leads a number of choirs in Helsinki, and as I mentioned, she's involved in children's opera, writing them, producing them, directing them. Anna might best be described as a translator between the worlds of contemporary and classical music and school-aged children. Last March, Anna hosted me in Helsinki for 3 weeks to work with her students and others, and now I'm pleased to welcome her to Scripps College and the Joint Music Program as O'Brien Distinguished Visiting Professor this fall. And she will visit with various classes over the next couple weeks, work with the choirs, and co-direct a concert of the Claremont Treble Singers and Claremont Concert Choir. A number of members are here on November 5th at 2:00 p.m. in Garrison Theater. So please mark that on your calendar to come and hear the choirs sing music from Finland and the U.S. Also, you're welcome to attend a reception, a welcoming. Anna just started working with us yesterday. And so we're having a welcoming reception for her at 5:30 today outside the music department at the Performing Arts Center. So there will be free food. So come to that as well. So without further ado, or maybe with a little further ado, I want to enthusiastically welcome Anna to the stage. And then after she talks with you, we'll probably have some time for questions, and we'll figure out how that works when we get there. So.
I'm really Michigan. Okay, let's go. Just kidding. Let's start with Michigan. And the words are now Michigan. Can you say to me, Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. Michigan, 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 Michigan. Michigan, Michigan, health, what is this? Edut. Benefits of singing, and also choir singing especially. So what we know is that the resonances in the body help the mucous membranes, their circulation and immune system. Humming, like we did with the snowball, activates vagus nerve, which goes right next to the larynx, as does these lip trills. And tongue trills, because they make your larynx vibrate. Also, prolonged breathing out helps you breathe deeper, and also activates the, relaxes your nervous system. So it reduces stress, which in turn helps concentrate, helps learn, helps communicate and build contact, build bridges between individuals and between groups. It is not so well established yet, even though it's known for those who work with musical group hobbies like orchestra and choir. And these almost everything goes also with orchestra, is that when you have a musical hobby, it strengthens the experience of belonging to the group more than another hobby with a shared interest, like a sports team or a Lego building group. And it's not yet totally known why, but we think it's because in music you have, often in good music, you have emotional episodes happening, and it becomes a shared emotional experience within the group. And with a group that you have had strong experiences, now it's bodily, playing, singing, intellectual, you have text or music reading, and then added to this emotional content that is already there in music. Of course, it's the core. Makes it us open to each other in a very subtle and somewhat automatic way. But not always. It requires that the person leading the group is aware that they have to choose such pedagogical solutions and such practices that strengthen this social inclusion. And also a little bit newer finding is that unlike before, it was thought that there are these kinds of community choirs that concentrate on building the society and well-being. And then there are very ambitious groups that concentrate on making really high-quality artistic performances. Now the latest study suggests that these can rather be thought as twin goals. That if you are aware of these mechanisms of social inclusion and those practices that you can use in your group, it also enhances learning. And thus makes it better to reach those artistic goals. And deeper and more elaborate artistic content, again, increases motivation. And then it makes easier for us to show up every week or twice a week, prepare yourself. So this is a loop of good. And I don't know how it is here in the States, but we had really strong idea about these two ways of orchestras and choirs, or schools. There are schools that more concentrate on well-being, and there are schools that more concentrate on academic achievement. And of course, this is now understood that there is no one without the other. Okay, this idea, what I now here presented, is really well written in a thesis by Sanna Salminen. She's a Finnish scholar and choir conductor of a very high-quality choir Vox Aurea. The sound of the northern lights is the choir. And they travel all around the world and also win competitions. But the really good thing about choir and orchestra hobby is that it is not competitive by nature, and thus it's for most people it enhances learning because you don't have to be afraid of taking risks because your failure doesn't mean that your team loses. So in these kind of safe groups, choirs, orchestras, if the leader is aware of these mechanisms, and most who work with young children and youth and students are very well aware of them, you can, what was I saying? Yeah, you can see that the participants, the singers, the players are ready to show their weaknesses and try something new than for example, in a football or soccer team. I have to check my notes next. Yeah. Then one more thing about music, which helps the hobby being more inclusive, is that it has many benefits when it comes to some of the problems that we now also in Finland have in increasing numbers, this diversity of attention. So, for example, if you have ADHD, you're on the spectrum, the music helps you prolong the span of attention for many students and for many pupils and for many teachers. And also, for some who are on the autistic spectrum, the choir, if they are not so skilled as you Americans are, so skilled in taking contact with other people. We in Finland, we are much more shy, and even like before, it was so that if you didn't know someone, you didn't say hello. And nowadays, when I look at my daughter, who is 16, you don't even say hello, even though you would know someone. And that will be a problem in the future if we lose these skills. So a choir or an orchestra is a really structured way of being together. You don't have to figure out something to say, something witty. You just can show up, do the warm-up exercises and sing with your part next to your fellow singers. And that already is a very strong way of social interaction. Also, in Finland, we used to be a very homogenic nation. There was only very similar looking people who all spoke either Finnish or Swedish as their mother tongue. But now it has really quickly changed, and our school system is not up to date with it. It is very much based in the same language, oletus. We presume that everybody has the same language. And now we are in trouble. There are a lot of kids who don't learn to read in Finland, who used to be one of the top-scoring countries in the PISA studies. And now I have noticed, I have one of my favorite audience outreach projects is a school choir club that I do in eastern part of Helsinki in a very a notorious neighborhood. Usually that school it's very rare in Finland yet, but that school is always in the news for having some violence or something like that happened there, a fire or so. And we have started a little choir there. And the teacher said that she cannot read, they cannot read, he cannot read, he cannot read, he cannot read. And then we learn a song first just by listening. And then I always I make the music so that the text is really big. And then I ask who wants to have the sheet music. And in the beginning, I was really surprised that the ones that the teacher had said they cannot read, they were, I want to have it, I want to have it. And then I realized they already know the words, and we sing the song again and again. And they look at the letters, and it starts to... Now, it also increases school satisfaction if you have a school club where people from different classes come together and sing together. We know who sing in choir. It's really important. But they don't understand it in the government. We have, for the first time, a government that has a party that is a little bit populistic, rightist. We have a party like that, and a rightist, like more moderate. And they think culture is a luxury. They think arts, education in schools is a luxury. And they decided not to have any training for teachers who teach the younger school kids to have any training in music. They might have one afternoon. And in that one afternoon, some person who has not had music as a hobby has to learn all the tricks how to teach for the first 6 years of school. We start at 6 in preschool and at 7 at school. So you might have a teacher who cannot sing or who hates to sing, who is not, nobody has taught how to sing. Of course, they cannot teach the kids to sing or to love music or play for the first 7 years. So this is a problem, and this is why we have like a common ground here. We should always keep the flag up that it is not a luxury. Art is not luxury. It's the prerequisite for a functional society. We don't have anything if we don't understand ourselves, if we don't understand each other, if we don't have the tools to build the bridges. And this is why I love to do these audience outreach programs. I do this club and a nationwide network of similar choirs. We teachers who have wide knowledge of the program, we collect it so that somebody who just starts can get good songs, easy songs with good content, so that we would have more teachers who know how to teach basics in music, either in singing or in playing or basic music theory. Now, we might maybe proceed a little bit to a discussion, if Chuck wants to join us. And please, I don't come up with every question that you might have because we are from a different system. So just ask. I didn't understand. How do you do? Why do you do? No, it's not like that. I would be really happy to really like discuss and find out what's the next
Encourages to both think about things and also to do and to experience and to make, as we were exploring some of these ideas. I'm suspecting that there may be questions or thoughts that people in the audience have. Does anyone have anything they want to ask of Anna about anything?
You said you started this choir club, and this sort of notorious school, and these kinds of exercises that you did with us.
Yes.
How did they first go over? Was there resistance, or how did you do that?
In my choir club, we're very small because the parents don't know that they should put there. We are only 9 at this time in the club. But last year when we started, we did 3 songs for the spring term ending festivities with a whole grade. And they were 5th graders in Finnish system. That means they are 11 or 12 years old. And when they started to come into I didn't believe in myself at all. I had seen them on the ground fighting there and saying whatever. And I was like, I didn't sleep for 3 nights before that when I knew that they were coming. And they started to come to the class and they would sit like this. And I would go to the girls and, are you on 5th grade? Because they looked so much older. And also because of their attitude. Usually it's not that strong, and they were sitting like this. 99% were sitting like this. One from the choir was like, let's sing. The other ones were, let's not sing because here all the friends are here. And we started doing these exercises exactly. And I didn't mind if somebody didn't participate at all. And when I was asking questions and they would answer in a rude way, I would like take the answer and think, oh, you experienced it like that. Oh, I guess, like it would be the best answer ever. I tried to like connect that way, that I didn't reject anything. At the end of the first rehearsal, we had 4 rehearsals and then dress rehearsal and concert, like we will now with these choirs. And next rehearsal number 2, they were like 50% were ready with my Z, and only 50% were like this. And at the end of the second rehearsal, we were up to 80%. And when the third rehearsal was about to start, I came to the schoolyard and there were a bunch of these kids were running to me. Hey, kuoro ope, choir teacher, hey, choir teacher. And at the end in the performance, when some of the parents also showed up for the show, there were a few who didn't do these choreographic things, but everybody sang. And for me, it was really good experience because I didn't trust that this music thing that is so important to me would be important to those people. I didn't trust in that. But it showed to me that also children and kids and youth are missing that. And somehow it went through. But you have to do it every time again. Yeah. Lena.
I have a more philosophical question. So I believe that choir is very, very important, that it brings people together. But what if, I don't know, the government makes choir mandatory, so you have to do choir? Wouldn't that like backfire and maybe people would stop enjoying it as much? Because usually something, if you have to do something, then it doesn't bring joy anymore.
That's a very good question. If there's a situation that somebody has to be present, like it's mandatory for the studies or so, I try to sort of wagon that out. I try to use a lot of wordings that are not like stand up, come here, do as, well, I try to say we might, should we, would it be, and I try to, as much as it's possible in a big group. Sometimes my groups are as big as 70 people, small people, that's a lot. So you cannot, like, everybody cannot tell about their cat. It's not possible. It's very important, but it's not possible. So I try to find ways so that they can bring their interpretation to the songs, like this blah 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 exercise. Everybody can bring something out of them. It makes it feel it's not obligatory, even though it would be. And another answer to that is that if you get to start early enough, for us, for practicalities, it's from 6 years old when they come to preschool, because it would be unfair start before, because it wouldn't then concern everybody. So I like to start from the preschool. When everybody comes to preschool, then it's a also good age, very good age to start. If you get to do that, it's like speaking. It becomes a way of expressing expressing yourself and a way of being with others, and not something that somebody imposes on you. If you are older, I really try to say that what are the benefits? Have you noticed these positive developments in our group? Have you noticed that some people are a little bit jealous you going to the choir club and they cannot? And then we try to figure out how we could get also those ones who want to come but cannot. We also have families that don't allow their children to come to choir club, which is sad. But we have to continue.
Why don't they let them?
For example, if you're very, we have a lot of very strongly religious people from some, like different groups, like what would it be in denominations that only allow certain kind of music. It's usually hymns, classical music, and if there's anything that's a little bit like amen, no. Or it's less now, but some Muslim communities also don't encourage singing, but it has changed really fast now in Finland. So we discuss a lot with the families. I'm sure you are much ahead in these discussions in America because you have had these multicultural issues much longer than we. We are really just learning how to communicate with different cultural backgrounds. We have been so homogeneous. It's amazing. You wouldn't believe it because you're raised in a very different environment.
I think Rochelle has a question.
I only want to say, Dad, I'm so grateful to hear from you, partly because we are not nearly as far ahead as you think.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We've been struggling with these things, yes, but there's still struggles for us.
We need you to lead the congressional choir, please.
I'd be happy.
I was wondering a little more like how you, I guess, communicate or stress the importance to like, I guess, families that might not be receptive to viewing music as something that's like so important culturally, or just generally speaking, like legislators also, yeah.
The best way is if, like for families first, the best way if sometimes the families are invited to the end of term festivities, and if they show up and they see their children performing, we have no problem whatsoever after that. With another audience outreach system that I have worked for 10 years, it's with the Finnish National Opera and Ballet, where they have a system of school opera. Every second year, a really good composer composes a 45-minute opera where a big children's choir has a central role, singing and acting all the time, plus 3 professional opera singers and 2 professional musicians accompanying. And this goes around in different cities in Finland. And there we have reached those families because it's the whole class. It's mandatory. You have to come. And sometimes, sadly, the parents don't come to see the show, even though it's stunning. It's just amazing. They are such good compositions and costumes for every 70 kids, and setting, lights, everything, a direction with a top-notch professional. Sometimes, a few times, the parents didn't show up, or they said that my kid will not come because he has a basketball rehearsal, even though they've been practicing for 2 months. So there we have reached also these families that don't allow opera. But we have made accommodations with the teacher all the time. Like every new scene I'm about to teach, the teacher says a little bit further away and a little bit less shaking. And can they just hold hands instead of like this? And we do all the time. It's very important job, but it's not easy. And when you have a good communicator with the teacher, who knows about the family, who knows about the customs, the best is if the teacher is from that congregation self. I have had such. And sometimes they couldn't participate, but they could sell tickets. But it was so sad to watch the ticket seller sing every word like this from the audience. But what can you do? Little by little. And what about the administrators, the people with power? Yeah. The best thing is to get their children into the choir. Yeah. And in Finland, that's still possible. Yeah. It's still possible. There are not. I came with Metro with this very notorious new populistic right-wing leader, Riikka Purra. We came on Metro to work one morning together. She was not close enough that I could have had a little chat about choir. But we can still bump into our president on the street and have a chat. It's amazing.
Maybe one more question, because it is 1 o'clock or a little after.
You mentioned children's opera, and I feel like opera is a very exclusive genre. How do you work to make opera more accessible to children in particular?
That's a very good question. Children don't know that it's exclusive. One time we had a class of these preschoolers come to see our, now this what I do with National Opera, it's not my compositions, but I do also children's opera myself, and we have whole classes come to see and sometimes also to sing as the choir. And one class was just in audience, and our director asked the kids that, how did you feel? Because there was not spoken language at all, only singing. And they were like, I was there? So children don't think that. And that's why the important is, it's not only opera, only music, it's all art forms. We have to ensure that good quality, only the best quality, the kids are exposed to highest possible quality art experiences, shows, concerts, operas, theater from the young age. That's the solution. It's not easy because you have to fight for money or do it for free, or sometimes, as in children's opera, you get to pay to be able to do it for kids. But I don't think anything is more important, so we have paid for our own operas, sometimes borrowed money from my father. Yeah, but you have to do it little by little.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming, and I especially want to thank Anna for all of that you've shared with us. And I want to invite you to come and continue conversation with her from 5:30 to 6:30 today over in the Performing Arts Center courtyard, when we'll have some snacks and things, and we can continue conversing then. Thank you to Public Events, Marcy and Lizzie and team.